we go from Thunder Valley all the way to upstate New York in the Finger Lake regions. It's virtual Watkins Glen International for round 4 of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, and we are live in studio here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I'm Chris Wilner alongside Hannah Newhouse. Hannah, boy, man, we're just throwing wrenches at this season. We had a first-time short track race last week. Now we're going road course racing where we go left and right and shift. And do you know what's going to happen tonight? Because I certainly don't.
Well, I thought I knew it was going to happen at Bristol, and that is not what happened at all. So I think this race, being Watkins Glen, a lot of these guys maybe don't spend a lot of time practicing road courses. It's not something they run consistently. So this is a back-to-back wild card event. This is a night that we could have a breakthrough driver, a dark horse come out on top, and I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see an event win come from a team that we may not expect it from.
Yeah, we so far have a trend going of first-time winners through the first 3 rounds, so hopefully we maybe keep that going or we see our first repeat winner here tonight. But first, let's take a look back at 2 weeks ago, Bristol Motor Speedway, because, Hannah, it was exciting. In the heart of Thunder Valley, it's the last great Coliseum. It's Bristol, baby. Round number 3 under the lights, coming to the green flag, and it's Shelby Power, your winner in Charlotte. Can he do it again as we are underway here at Bristol?
Wasting no time, track bar all over the back bumper there.
We heard some contact there from Slick. More contact as that pushes Shelby into the outside wall. Pass for the lead. How about Slick? Oh, they're going to touch. There's a little bump and run, sends the 22 up the hill, and on the bottom side is SHG Slick. Slick gets into the outside of the 22, and he hits the inside wall. Track bar says, thank you very much. I'll go from third to first. Checkered flag is out as they're wrecking down the front straightaway for second. That was a little bit wild at the finish. Track bar takes the win. Mr. Track Bar checked out at the end for that one to pick up the win, with Garbage coming home second at the line when he was wrecking there with Shelby, and Mordog a top 4 finish after disappointment in Auto Club.
Yeah, SHG rounding out the top 5 there with JRM Dohar. Wow, that's Garbage actually just put on a show. He was just the show in himself. Started at the back, had to make his way to the front. Lots of excitement from Bristol, but that's what you expect when you go to the last great Coliseum.
Yeah, if you don't use your front bumper or your quarter panels, I mean, are you really racing at Bristol? I mean, come on. So it was definitely interesting to see. And Hannah, Rubbin's racing, and I don't think you're going to do that here, though.
Oh, I think that's definitely not how it's going to work. I think we're going to see a lot of Rubbins racing because that's how you pass here at Watkins Glen. It's a tight little racetrack. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a repeat with a lot of action.
I'm calling this driver Mr. Redemption. He comes back to finish 4th last week at Bristol, and he is on a hot streak coming in here to Watkins Glen. It's Mordog, and he joins us now live in studio here via Skype. How you doing, buddy? And first of all, you got to feel good coming into this week now that you've got a solid top 5 on your heels.
Oh, yeah, especially after a couple weeks ago. I'm ready to go. I'm building up some momentum. We're going to get going here at Watkins Glen really well.
Now, you're starting 11th at Watkins Glen, a little bit farther back, but this is a race where anything can happen. There's a lot on the line, but also a lot that can go wrong. How are you feeling about that 11th starting spot?
I feel fine with it. Qualifying had an issue with controller, so it cost me a couple tenths. That's why I ended up back in 11th, but I feel really good. I have some quirky strategy planned out, so just be on the lookout for that. I got something up my sleeve.
And talk about your preparation for a place like Watkins Glen when you've got to shift and you have to worry about breaking points left and right. What's your week been like preparing for this moment, especially fine-tuning that race car to get to the front?
It's a middle ground, trying to keep, tire wear going well. You try to have your good fuel mileage. It's a lot of gearing changes. The setups are pretty standard at, Watkins Glen, in my opinion. Everyone's really close. But then you start switching into gearings and stuff like that. That's where the big difference is, and that's what I've had to work on for weeks.
Now, I got to ask you, the mustache, is it coming out specifically for the eNASCAR Heat Pro League season? Is it in relation to Hendrick, or is that just a fashion trend you're starting to bring back?
It's something to set myself apart. It's something a little different. I like the 90s and stuff like that. So it's definitely something I rock, in this league and outside of this league.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was looking at a young Jeff Gordon there from Sprint Car Days. So that's pretty sweet. Hey, good luck tonight. We'll be rooting you on here from the studio.
Thank you so much, guys.
And watching his interview is like a blast from the past. He's got the mustache going on. He had some vintage apparel on there. We actually dug this up here. I mean,
is that not a doppelganger if I've ever seen one? I mean, near perfection. That's Jeff Gordon circa, early 90s in that sprint car. And I definitely know who's going to be, who Mordog's going to be for Halloween, because look at that. It's near perfection. It's awesome.
And it works out good that he's working or racing for Hendrick. Yeah. Works out good that he's working or racing for Hendrick Gaming. I mean, this was just destined to be.
Definitely. Stars aligned for them, and definitely cool to see. I hope he keeps that for the rest of the season, because it's a good look. But that was Xbox. Why don't we check out PlayStation, because that race was pretty intense, too. We're getting set to go from Bristol. Your cars are on the racetrack. Green flag at Bristol. Right now, SHG Hot Rod is hooked up off of corner number 4, and he's out to the early lead. Side by side, here looking back behind. Boy, we got a great race going on here between the lead. 14 and 32. We got a caution with 52 laps to go. Looks like some heavy damage on the Credit One Bank 42. Caution is out, and boy, throw the scripts out the window, as this will be a shootout.
Back under green, can SHG get out front and hold on to it, but not without a challenge. Rowdy looking sporty.
Right now, it's all Hot Rod who's got the best Hot Rod of the night. It is Hot Rod 14 takes the checkered flag at Bristol Motor Speedway. Yeah, Hot Rod was in his own zip code there, taking home the win at Bristol Motor Speedway. Slade coming back to second place finish after some trouble in the previous round at Auto Club Speedway. And Rowdy, best finish of the year at third.
The Bear coming home in fourth, one of the favorites, consistent once again on a short track there. Pennzoil top 5, but SHG Hot Rod had a Hot Rod, no doubt, and he's going to share a little bit of his setup secrets as we take a look at how he won the race in a setup secret.
Jake, the voice of Stuart Haas Gaming here. Hot Rod won the eNASCAR Heat Pro League PlayStation race a couple weeks back at Bristol, and we're going to share some of his notes.
Well, I spoke too soon. Apparently, we will not be getting a setup secret there. Everything's top secret over at Stuart Haas Gaming, but maybe if we make a personal phone call over to Jake there, I mean, he's seen that book.
Jake, you really just threw us a line and then pulled it back. I mean, we were so excited to see how he was able to get to the front. But you know what? Some things are left to be kept a secret, and maybe we'll talk to him and share that with you later on this season. But they do a good job there, and definitely, if they're going to run up front, they got to keep those secrets kept to themselves.
One of the favorites coming into the season and driving for Levine Family Gaming. The Bear, also one of our favorites to talk to, and we've got him now on the guest line. The Bear. Hey, how's it going, The Bear? Are you looking forward to tonight? You've been one of the consistent guys, but we're going right and left tonight. How you feeling about that?
Well, first of all, it's been a pretty productive season for us overall. I think that the first 3 races is kind of give us a platform to springboard into the rest of the season. As far as tonight goes, I feel like we're going to be right in the thick of things with everybody else. I mean, we're just going to try to be smart and go left and right just like everybody else, and try to play the right strategy at the end of the race to put ourselves out front for a win, hopefully.
You definitely have a lot of reasons to have momentum. Not only are you running well, but you've got the beard. You just had a 30th birthday. Your Cup team in real life's doing pretty well right now. So how about this momentum streak for you? Do you feel confident going in to kind of continue that? Because you also have 3 straight top 5s as well.
Yeah, I tell you, hats off to Matt D over the weekend, finally getting the finish that he deserved, finishing 4th out in Sonoma. Tough racetrack, and to pass guys like Kevin Harvick, to get into the top 5, to be consistent. I mean, couldn't say nothing else. Congrats to him. Finally the hard work starting to pay off, and I hope it continues for the rest of the season. For us, we just got to maintain, man. Just keep on getting it, keep grinding. All we want to do is just be consistent and be there when it counts.
Consistency is definitely one of the big things in this season. You're rolling off 9th tonight at Watkins Glen. A little bit different. We've been to a 1.5 miles. We've been to a short track. How are you feeling about your road course skills?
Personally, it's not my favorite. I'm not going to lie. They never have been. But, we put a lot of hours and a lot of time into this over the last 2 weeks, having the off week in between Bristol and now. So I look forward to seeing, all the hard work we put into it. Showing a few results and better than where we would have been when we started. So looking forward to it. Can't wait to get on the track tonight. Ready to go racing.
Awesome. Well, thank you and good luck tonight, the Bear at Watkins Glen.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I think although he says road courses aren't his favorite, he's been a consistent driver all year. He's definitely good on the mile and a half. We know that. So definitely will be definitely interesting to watch the Bear work his way up through the field. And he's even got the beard going now, too, the little salt and pepper look. So I like that. He says it's going to give him a little energy going into tonight.
Maybe he needs to add the D on the back of it there and go the beard if he keeps growing it.
Yep.
But speaking of the beard, let's go down and check out with Zane here. We're not quite done talking about Bristol. What's your takeaway from the last great Coliseum?
Guys, the bearded one here in the digital lounge hanging out, and I got to say Bristol was something that I circled on my calendar early in the season. The high corners was going to be a challenge. The speed there, these guys have some issues sometimes pushing the cars when they shouldn't. But what we saw last night, or 2 weeks ago, should I say, was 3 cautions in total through all the races, a checker-wrecker finish, and probably one of the best races we've seen out of these guys as the season's picked up. Tonight is going to be a different story, but Bristol was a show, and that's why they call it the last great Coliseum.
Awesome. Zane, we'll check in with you over the course of tonight because you definitely give us some awesome insight as we go to race at Watkins Glen. But first, let's kind of check out the PlayStation because let me tell you what, these guys are about to get after it. But when the standings came out after Bristol, here's how things look with Penske retaining the top spot, their win at Charlotte, and a very consistent duo of drivers there at Penske Esports.
Now, if you check out, though, here, you've got Levine Family Gaming in third, tied there with JTG, 211 points there. But Levine has yet to get that event win. So we talked about the Bear, we talked about consistency, and that puts them in that third position there. Could tonight be the night that Levine gets that event win?
It very well could be. And teams like Hendrick as well, Chip Ganassi, it's not, all hope is not lost. Remember, this is a team really points championship. So you want to root your other driver on and combine those teams, and it'll definitely help you guys in the standings because we still got a long way to go. But definitely those consistent teams are the ones that we're seeing right at the top.
And speaking of consistency, Penske has been consistent thus far in the season. And let's learn a little bit more about one of their drivers, Pennzoil.
I'm just going to let you guys get to know me a little bit better. I'm 24 years old from Waynesboro, Virginia. Currently living in an apartment with my beautiful wife. So this is pretty much my setup that I have. Not much, it's in our living room, so it's a little loud, but got the banner behind me from Team Penske. Then I got my gaming computer over here, PlayStation set up on my 27-inch TV.
It's been, really surreal experience. Not really knowing what to expect. Obviously has been a dream come true to be talking and working with some of these big name people and in such a prestigious organization.
Graduated in 2012 from Bridgewater College with a Bachelor's of Science in Sociology. Currently work full-time at Virginia Panel Corporation and part-time high school baseball and football coach.
I like the game. I like mostly sports games. Also in my spare time I like to, get out and play sports.
Looking forward to continuing throughout the season with Team Penske and working with those guys and Brian Tedeschi over there on Xbox. So I'll see y'all on the track.
And I'm not sure who decorated his living room there. Probably the wife, but this is my invitation to you to come decorate my house because it looked awesome.
It definitely didn't. I mean, not only is his living room nice, his driving is nice, and like he mentioned with Tedeschi, I mean, both of them together have been kind of the power duo so far this season. And I know we want to bring in Zane because he knows these drivers on a little more of a deeper level. And Zane, what is it about Penske right now with this pair of drivers that just makes them so good and so consistent?
It's the water they drink at Penske. It comes out of the water fountains. They bottle it up. It's called success. That's the great thing. But here's the funny part is Tedeschi's showing what it means to be a Penske driver, while Pennzoil, on the other hand, is trying to get to that Oedipus that he's at right now. He feels like he's the bridesmaid in the shadow of his co-driver on Xbox side, and he's doing his best to show, hey, I'm the top dog of Penske, not Tedeschi in the Shell V Power 22, but me over here in the 2. So this is going to be an interesting night tonight for him because he's wanting to come out and show the world, I am the best Penske driver. I'm going to get us this championship, even though it's a team thing, and you're starting to see these rivalries form between the two groups, but it's all for the same common goal of winning a championship and being called the best.
You talk about that common goal there and how while there is some rivalry between each other for that top spot, obviously the end goal being an event win, which takes both of them. And with with Shelby looking to be Pennzoil looking to be as good as Shelby, have they been communicating, swapping setups? Because at the end of the day, it's one goal.
It's everyone, just not Penske's that's doing it. Every team, they will sit down for a few hours, talk about their setups, how to tweak them, how to make them better. Some of these guys have actually bought other consoles just to be able to race with their teammate to get those finite details they need to make those cars better. Penske is one of those teams that actually do it almost on a regular, where Tedeschi will drive, Pennzoil will drive, and then at the end of the night, they'll talk about, this is what I changed, this is what I did, here's a gearing I tried, maybe you want to put some in the right rear more as we're at a road course. So they are cooperating, but Tedeschi is showing week in, week out why he's that dominant car for Penske right now.
Zane, digging the hair, my friend. We look forward to catching up with you as the night progresses, as we get set to look now at the PlayStation starting lineup from Watkins Glen, New York. And boy, it's going to be a good one with Fast Fed, the two best friends on the front row, Fast Fed and Fluffy, your front row tonight.
Slade, third position there. He'll be one to watch, as well as the young gun goes right and left. SHG Hot Rod in fourth, and Nick Jobs, a pretty good qualifying effort there for him in fifth.
Yeah, Rowdy, who had its best finish of third last week, starting eighth, and then there's Pennzoil starting shotgun on the field, so be one to watch here at Watkins Glen.
Driving for one of the teams that currently has an event win, a little security for him, but also someone who's been extremely consistent and showed speed. We're joined now on the guest line here by Fluffy. Fluffy, you're one of those drivers, you're starting on the front row, you had speed in qualifying. How do you feel that's going to translate into tonight's race at Watkins Glen?
I feel like it's going to translate into, consistency. We show it almost all the time at road courses, and hopefully tonight can be a very big show for these people, and hopefully I can show my skills on the track, being consistent and just showing I can get it done.
Hey, when we ran those exhibition races, we kind of dubbed you as definitely a driver to watch for. I mean, a multi-event winner. Does it bother you a little bit you haven't found victory lane yet, and could today be your day?
Yeah, it's been difficult last three races. It's been a rocky start, but hopefully we get it done here at Watkins Glen tonight. Trying to get away that drought and quit being winless. So hopefully that changes tonight. We definitely got a car to beat. We definitely have a car to beat. We've been fast all week long. Been practicing, been tuning. Ready to take the cover off tonight and show these guys what I got.
We thought Bristol was going to be the wild card, but now we're making rights and lefts. But Roush Fenway Gaming does have an event win under their belt already early on in the season. Is that a little bit of a sigh of relief for you going into a race like this where anything can happen?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I take that momentum and use it for the Glen, and hopefully we can just, get it done tonight. Feeling very confident, and I use that momentum and just take it on the track and get it done tonight.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you, Fluffy, for joining us before the race here, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, guys.
And an average finish of 6th, that's not too shabby by any means in this eNASCAR Heat Pro League. So definitely he'll be one to watch starting on the front row. Hannah, we're run up to the green flag. We're a few minutes away here. Can he finally get to victory lane? Because I think everybody's wondering if today's going to be it.
I think it could be this, and it's been fun getting to know these drivers, not only watching them progress on the racetrack, but also getting to interview them, know them a little bit more personally, and see what makes them tick as these gamers and drivers. And speaking of that, we saw Fast Fed win not too long ago, but let's learn a little bit more about his teammate, Go Fast Matt.
My name is Go Fast Matt 32. I drive for Go Fast Racing in the number 32 Ford.
Today I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a room tour. This is the setup that I currently use for all of my Pro League races. This is my wheel setup. I have tons of sheet metal because I love collecting.
I wasn't really a competitive gamer before. Once I cracked the top 50 and started with the showcase races is when I really decided, all right, this is really fun. This is what I want to do.
This is about 3 months of me picking up postcards, but I finally got the wall all covered.
I'm very new to this. I mean, of course, there's an age gap with a lot of the people. Some of the people are nicer than others. But I mean, it's just been an awesome experience. For the most part, everybody's been really, really supportive. I have a summer job. I used to work at a food stand. That's going to be opening up here in a month. But now since I have this job, I really don't know what I want to do. I'll probably go back there for fun.
That was actually my first piece of sheet metal that I ever collected, the Clint Boyer 5-star Watkins Glen.
I used to play a lot of sports. I used to be really good at them: soccer, baseball, football, pretty much anything outdoors. I love playing it. And then once I got into the esports scene, I just blew up, and I'm like, all right, this is what I want to do.
I hope everyone enjoyed the inside look at the room that I play in the NASCAR Heat Pro League, and I hope to get a win tonight at Watkins Glen.
Pretty cool to see his collection there of all the body panels, the sheet metal.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wondering, since we're based here in the Charlotte area, if we should assist in his efforts and if he could build almost a full car to race out of.
I think so. He can build his own simulator with actual car parts, which would be awesome. And I will definitely go check out his crib next time he's playing. It's definitely incredible to see what these drivers are able to do and their fandom off the track as well with NASCAR and all the stuff they collect. I thought it was cool. I had die-cast cars as a kid. He's got sheet metal. I think he wins.
Yeah, you're definitely slacking there. But Zane, let's bring you back in here. You know him a little bit better than we do. What's going on in the mind there of him?
Go Fast Matt is my good buddy. He's my Fortnite, carry me through everything because I can't play the game. I can just shoot stuff. He builds for me. And I literally call this guy Joey Logano mini-me. He looks just like him. He's got the composure of him. He's a very, prim and proper kind of driver. But when he starts to get heated, that's when the best part of Matt comes out, his personality. So he's a driver who overthinks when he drives. He wants to be the best. He wants to compete to Fed, right? But he's a guy who understands how to race. The hard part, though, is controlling those emotions behind the car. You should hear some of his radioactives privately. It's the best thing ever because it's like, we can't say that on television, but we might get away with it on the internet situation. But I love the guy. He's a talented driver. He's got 4 Xboxes. He mods them for fun. And overall, this guy's the biggest nerd and gamer I've seen part of the group. We hang out probably 3 times a week with some of the Pro League guys, playing Red Dead and other games and racing. So it's really cool to kind of see him young, passionate about the sport, and we almost bought him a hood. We were looking at Matt Diabeto's hood for the NASCAR Heat Evolution, and we almost bought it. It was $600, and we're like, we don't have that kind of money, but to have him almost build a simulator, hey, we could do it, guys. Let's all get together, pitch in $5. We'll get him a hood by the end of the year.
Hey, sign me up, absolutely. Hey, real quick, kind of like we were talking about with Penzo and Shelby, is Go Fast Matt kind of in a position kind of like with FedEx and also just trying to get to that same level there at Go Fast?
Yes and no, right? Matt is happy with where he's at. He wants to win, but the problem that he's running into is late races where he's getting involved in incidents, accidents. Same thing we see with Kyle Arnold on the PlayStation, HD Motorsports in the past few weeks where he's got a dominant car and then gets caught up in some of these incidents. That's what we're seeing. If he can get a clean run, I'm telling you, this guy's going to be in victory lane before we know it, and he could have a dominant season.
Could be tonight at Watkins Glen. But before we get going there, let's take a look at the Xbox starting lineup for Watkins Glen. You see SHG Slick, another strong qualifying effort for Stuart Haas.
Yeah, the Bolt, too, a top qualifying effort in 3rd. Casey starting 2nd as well. Another driver that we haven't really talked much about. Could this be the day we see a sleeper like Casey get the job done? And there's Go Fast Matt in 4th.
And there you have Wow That's Garbage in 14th. Unfortunate qualifying situation for him once again, but that did not stop him at Bristol. He could do the same tonight.
All right, time to talk to the driver out of East Brunswick, New Jersey. He's 18 years old, and it is Bolt out of Gibbs Gaming, and he joins us live actually from the Dan Cave, as he calls it. First of all, I don't know if you're a Kyle Busch fan at all, but I can definitely tell from behind you there. How'd you get all that stuff?
It's all thanks to the Interstate Batteries guys. They've, after I came back from the Charlotte trip, they sent me 4 different packages of all the Interstate Battery stuff. And from what you see here is what they gave me, and I'm very thankful to have it all. And also have a lot of shirts that I bought from their site. And they've done a lot for me. So they took really good care for me, and just really happy with what I got. I'm very thankful.
That's awesome.
You got quite the setup there. I know. It looks like how he's sitting. Kyle Busch may or may not be life-size behind you, but it's okay. Yeah. He's over your shoulder.
He is.
All
yeah,
right.
he is over my shoulder.
Well, we're going road course racing tonight at Watkins Glen. Your best qualifying effort thus far in the season. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. I have a pretty fast, consistent car. Just trying to make sure I keep everything in one piece. Trying to, keep it calm, cool, and then at the end go for it. And try to get a really good result. Try to win, of course. That's what I want to do. Had a really rough start to the season compared to my exhibition races. We were very consistent there. Now we've had a really rocky start. But I'm ready to go out there, do the best I can, have fun, and try to win this thing.
We were talking to a lot of drivers about maybe with a road course they switch consoles if you're, a controller guy or you're a wheel guy going to controller. Are you one of those drivers? And if so, what was the decision in making that choice?
For me, I've always used a racing wheel. Ever since I started racing racing since I've preferred the wheel. So that's what I use daily, and I'm all about the authentic experience. I like to make it as realistic as possible, so I use in-car camera as well, cockpit cam when I'm racing on top of that. So with the wheel, and that's how I like to race, and I'll always keep doing that.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to see what you got going on here tonight. Elbows up on the wheel, buddy.
Yeah, got you.
Well, if the Bolt finds his way to victory lane, he may be one of the only drivers that can say he celebrated with Kyle Busch.
Yeah, no kidding. It's right behind him. He lives with him. That's pretty sweet. So
he lives with Kyle Busch. Well, we're about ready to go racing at Watkins Glen, so let's take a look at what is on the schedule here. 24 laps in total, 1 pace lap. Obviously a shorter race with longer laps being here at a road course. That pit window, 7 to 9 laps. A lot of strategy going to play into tonight's race.
Lots of strategy. That'll probably be the name of the game here at Watkins Glen, because that competition caution at lap 15, they will close pit road at lap 12, so drivers definitely have some decisions to be made going in that 7 to 9 laps of a pit window. And the guy who probably knows the most about what strategy we may see today is, again, Zane down in our digital lounge. Zane, we've been talking almost all week about what drivers may do. What is the best strategy in your mind, do you think, that could play out to get somebody into victory lane today?
# send it. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. It'll be a bad night for somebody. Honestly, it's going to be saving the tires, saving your fuel. A lot of these guys we know from exhibition races and preseason can save fuel. Dohar, for example, at Sonoma. Now we're going into Watkins Glen, where this is a completely different track. These guys are going to be able to make it 7-8 laps like we saw. The hard part is getting into that first competition yellow if they can stretch their fuel to make it. At the end of the race, we're going to see guys possibly blow a tire, run out of fuel coming out of the final corner because of how long this track is. The other tricky spot is that bus stop. They got to low it into third gear, let the car roll through, get left, right, back onto the track. Some of these guys, if they don't watch out, there's a rule. You cross into the grass and to move forward, you're getting penalized. No questions asked. So that bus stop's going to be an area to watch. And turn 1 at the start of the race and after that competition yellow. Once again, I see the # send it's in chat. It may happen tonight.
# send it.
I like that. Just be careful out there, please.
Yes.
Yeah, you talked about that competition caution, the fuel strategy, as well as that bus stop. But some of the conversation going into this week was we have a lot of guys that play either on a controller or a wheel, but some of those guys are doing away with the wheel and going to just a controller specifically for the road course. What's the advantage there?
The response time. It takes more, sorry for the hand movements, right? To go left, right on a wheel, a controller. It's a flip of my thumb, just left, right, on the way through. So you see a lot of these guys switch from wheel to controller just for a road course, and then they move back to the wheel on the 1.5 miles, ovals, D-shape ovals, short tracks. So this is a rare instance we'll see them on controllers, but there are a few. Keffer still on a wheel, and I think Bolt said he's still running a wheel tonight as well.
All right, last but not least, we'll put you on the spot. Drivers to watch here at the PlayStation as we get set to go at Watkins Glen.
Let's see, Fast Fed, Hot Rod.
And he's doing it with his eyes closed.
And it's on the back of my eyelids. That's where I wrote it. So I'm trying to think here. And then the final one I would have to say is Bear's my dark horse. He needs a win. Levine Family Gaming needs to get in victory lane if they want to lock themselves in the championship race. Tonight's got to be the night, or they're not going to make it.
Awesome. Thanks, Zane. We will check in with you a little bit later and throughout the race. We know that you have a lot of communication and can hear these drivers, so we'll definitely be checking back in with you. But it's about time to go racing at Watkins Glen for the PlayStation. No doubt that this will be an interesting race. We've talked about the dark horse, and Zane said it there. The Bear, this may be his breakout moment. He's been consistent, but can he seal the deal tonight?
Yeah, I don't know, and it's going to be really interesting because the name of the game here at Watkins Glen, which if you've watched any sort of road racing, it's going to be lap 1, turn 1. And it's going to be incredible to see what these guys have to go through just to stay out of some sort of trouble. And Slade is one of our drivers actually tonight who's going to carry our onboard cameras with us. Yes, onboard in terms of in living room or wherever they may have their console. And there he is right now rocking a spin shirt. The sponsor, he's got his scooter. We talked about that week 1. You remember that? He finally got a scooter. And he's all hooked up. So we'll definitely be checking in with him, a driver that with the #1 pick preseason, and he's certainly showcasing that talent here so far this year.
He was getting some of that stretching in, a little bit more effort, as you said, elbows up. They're going left and right, but we are getting ready to go racing on the pace lap here for the PlayStation race. Your front row there being Fast Fed and Fluffy, the two best friends. You said it there before. Fluffy needs a win.
He does, and I think, you know, we almost talked about it 3 or 4 different times. He is frustrated. He's not afraid to admit that I probably messed up early on in the season and not really living up to the potential he wants. And I think this is going to be the really true test, starting on the front row, having that clean air, and possibly staying out of what could be and most likely could be a lap 1 incident. So definitely be interesting to watch him. And there's his friend Fast Fed, the pole sitter for tonight's race. And Fast Fed with that Ghost Fast Racing team, they are on the cusp of getting in a solid good points position, and it starts by finishing well here in the PlayStation race.
And it has been consistency in Fast Fed being one of those drivers who always seems to be in contention, and it's usually a circumstance of unfortunate events that takes him out of contention. So he's shown, obviously, he's got speed in qualifying here on the pole for tonight's race at Watkins Glen, but can he hold on to it?
It'll be interesting as we get set to go green, and we are underway from Watkins Glen, New York. We're green flag racing. Let's go road course racing, and it all starts here in turn number 1.
Tight right. Ooh, a little bit in the grass there as you see Fluffy try and initially take that lead, and he will not get it from Fast Fed. Fast Fed will try and get himself out front here and get away. Ooh, and a 3 wide sends someone into the infield, but looks like everyone held on to it.
Hot Rod hit the fence there coming out of the little chicane, and it was interesting to see. We didn't really have too much incident there in turn number 1. So clean and green so far as we go to the bus stop for the very first time, and through the grass there, through the front side, was Fast Fed. He did get at least 2 tires there in the pavement, so we're good to go there as we continue to follow the leaders. And there's on board, you took a quick look at Slade. He's got the game face on now.
He does have the game face. It's no stretching anymore. It's all business, but Fast Fed a comfortable lead as Fluffy trying to race him down here for that lead. Can't quite get it done. It's going to be consistent laps here, not overshooting any corners like that. That'll keep him out front, and out front's where you want to be right now. But apparently a lot of these guys were warned, you know, throughout the drivers' meeting of, hey, you can't win the race on lap 1, but you can sure lose it. So we have a lap or 2 underway here. Everyone clean and green thus far.
Yeah, to finish first, you must first finish, as the old saying goes. And so far, we've got clean and green here as a couple drivers got into it there on lap 1 in the back. But your top 2 beginning to separate themselves now nose to tail as Fast Fed is under siege by Fluffy, a man that we said that was going to be tough on these road courses. He was stellar at Sonoma in the preseason, and right now he is on the heels of Fast Fed.
He's looking to get challenged here, though, by Slade. He went from driving out the front window to driving out the rearview mirror as he's under challenge by Slade here. You can see the focus as we have an in-car cam here with Slade. The scooter is not going to get him to victory lane, but apparently some focus might be as he tries to take that second position away.
Definitely has that confident and definite talent behind the wheel, as we can see his eyes looking next door as we have a car on the outside of the racetrack. That was the 17 of Fluffy. So Fluffy moving back to 3rd as he got high off the final corner, and Slade now trying to capitalize here as he goes for the lead. 2 tires in the grass. He about lost it there.
Fluffy slipped back to that 4th position, and Sloppy Joe taking over in the podium. 3rd place right now as we ride along once again with Slade. You can see him trying to reel in Fast Fed. So Slade now in the 2nd position. Fast Fed, though, is just hanging out in the front. But let's take a look here at what exactly happened to Fluffy to slip him back to that 4th position.
Yeah, Fluffy there got a little bit high. A lot of drivers do off the corner, keeping that momentum. Okay, right side tires got in the grass, and he lost all sorts of traction. Wheel locked himself there coming off the final corner. So luckily he only dropped a spot, or excuse me, 2 now. He's down to 4th. Definitely has a lot of time to go back through the field.
Managed to keep it off the wall, no damage. That's definitely not something you want early on in a race as we are 4 laps in. You have to wonder if these guys watch each other. We mentioned practice sessions throughout the week, and at a racetrack like this, you're gonna have a strength. You're gonna have certain corners that you're a little bit better at than maybe someone else. You have to wonder if these guys have paid attention to that to know, hey, if I can catch him through this turn, I could set him up here.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers have said too, they watch YouTube videos of NASCAR at Watkins Glen, where they brake, where they shift, and it's definitely interesting to see some of that pay off for these guys as they start to fan out just a little bit. About a 1.1 second lead for Fast Fed in front of Slade, and look who's coming up through the field in third is Sloppy Joe in the 8 car. How about that run as he started there, I believe, he started about mid-pack, yeah. So he started about 10th, 9th, 10th position. So good run for Sloppy Joe up to third, 2 seconds behind your leaders. We ride on board with Fast Fed.
Fast Fed still clean and green, 5 laps in. That pit window, though, we're getting really close to when we see these guys in a lap or two probably come down, take tires. Zane had mentioned it. When you take only 2 tires here, you are forced to take right side. So it's going to be 2 or 4. Woo! We see Rowdy go around, but he managed to hold on to it. Some damage there for the driver out of JTG. Doesn't look like it's too bad. Maybe just some right front fender damages, but he managed to hold on to it.
Yeah, the front nose there looks to be kind of crumpled in. Not sure if he got into the fence on his own or had some help, but the young man out of JTG again had a best finish of third last week, and actually that finish helped JTG get the event win last time. So not the way you want to start for that team, but again, 20 laps to go. We'll work on it on pit stops as we are working lap number 5, working lap number 6, and so now we're going to kind of get in that pit window here in the next lap or 2.
Looks like we've got a battle shaping up here between Sloppy Joe as we ride along with him and Fluffy, who's looking to redeem himself, getting a little squirrely there, managed to use the curbs. He's using the grass. He is definitely taking full advantage of using every aspect of this road course, but he's gaining on him here, goes all the way out, but can't quite make up that track position as Fluffy still rides in 4th.
I was going to say, using the curbs, he was Ken Block drifting that thing through the bus stop. It was pretty intense how sideways the rear end of that race car got. So definitely interesting to see different driving styles. Some are more aggressive through the bus stop. Some are a little bit more patient as we again ride on board with Slade out of Cumming, Georgia. The young man, the youngest competitor in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League Series, as he's got, just turned 17 years old not too long ago. So the young man just starting to learn how to drive real cars, and he's putting on a clinic here so far as he's about to get past and does side by side there as the 17 of Fluffy gets past Slade for third.
Slade slips back there to the 4th. We were riding along there for a minute with Sloppy Joe, who has taken over the 2nd position. Fast Fed is in a league of his own right now. He is just clean and green out front, hoping that nothing happens. But like I said, we are in that lap 7 to 8 pit window. We're going to see guys start to come down, and Zane had mentioned they can't not take tires. And once again, riding along here with Slade in the 4th position. Does his scooter have a headlight?
It does, and it's shining right into the camera, too. It almost looks like it has a spotlight behind him. But, yeah, fuel windows coming up here real quick. We saw a couple drivers, as you saw probably on your screen, bouncing, kind of biking. Oh, hey, Mom!
Mom helping out there with the headlight.
She's coming in clutch.
Yeah, thank you, Mom. We appreciate that. That's awesome. I need a mom to help us through the booth.
And that just shows you how real this is. Like, these guys are playing at their house, and anything can happen. Mom may come in, offer some pizza rolls. We don't know. And she also helped us out there with the cameras. Thanks, Mom.
We also had one of our drivers last week that we talked to that we've learned some more about him, and he said his girlfriend is obviously very involved with his career. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind if some of the wives and girlfriends make some appearances as well.
Absolutely. Biggest cheerleaders on the tour. How about that? All right, well, we're 7 laps in. Fast Fed continues to lead, or working lap number 8 now, and yeah, he started on the pole and is continuing to pace the field. No real challenges after about the first couple of laps as he goes through the tunnel turn here and exits off the corner, and he's got a solid lead as we're waiting pit stops now because this could be the moment that decides the race as we've got a car down there on the inside. That's Kyle Arnold, it looks like, in the 13. Got a little bit loose and into the fence there on the tunnel turn, but again, we'll stay with our leader because it's going to be kind of a who blinks first to hit down pit road.
And as we get ready,
like we are.
We take a look here at that car, or at that wreck for Kyle Arnold. Ooh, and it looks like he just overshot that corner there. Wow. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Heavy damage, head on into the wall there. But pit stops underway. Sloppy Joe acquires the lead. Fast Fed down pit road along with Fluffy, Slade, Jobs, Parker. A lot of drivers coming down pit road, and we'll get Zane on here in just a minute here as we talked earlier that a lot of these guys were attempting to not take tires during practice sessions. It didn't work out. They were blowing right front tires. So that being said, you have to wonder if there really is a a positive thing to only take 2 tires because they were almost able to get there with just these right sides. But Zane, do you think a lot of these guys are going to be taking 2 or 4 tires, because fuel being one of the main reasons that we're watching these pit stops?
This early in the run, I'm taking 4 tires. If I can get 4 fresh Goodyears and a full tank of gas, I'm taking it right now, because the competition yellow is coming out in the next 6 to 7 laps.
Yeah,
so that's all we have to worry about. I just got to make it to that competition yellow, and then you know what? Let me take 4 tires, and if I got to make another yellow, green flag stop, I'm definitely taking 2 or no tires at that point.
That's a good strategy call, but definitely it's going to be a kind of an interesting play to see, especially if we get a caution sometime during the event too, what we'll play with that. But as you can see, now your leader, Sloppy Joe, dives onto pit lane. So does the 2 of Pennzoil, who worked his way from dead last in the field. So now the last few pit stops are happening, and we will recycle the field as we get close to that competition caution. And Hannah, I can't help but notice too, through that bus stop, take a look at how many tire tracks are going through the grass. I don't know if they think they're ATV guys four-wheeling it, but man, there's quite a few tire tracks going off the bus stop there.
Yeah, you have to wonder, like you said, if they think they're going dirt racing, but not today, and definitely probably not a path that you want to take. Obviously, you want to take advantage of the full racetrack, but usually the grass is not your friend. But as we get ready to recycle the field, Fast Fed, one of the first ones down pit road, reacquires the lead as everyone else has now pitted. Fluffy up in that second position, and Slade still a strong run in third.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting to see the pit stop and when you guys take a pit stop, because Fast Fed had a 2-second lead. Now he has just under a 3-second lead. So definitely some time gained on pit road by making that decision to pit the first one. So definitely a good strategy call here as we approach the competition caution.
Awesome paint scheme here for Sloppy Joe of RCR. Yeah, that's a new paint scheme, red, white, and blue. Some patriotic as we get ready for the 4th of July in a week or so. Sloppy Joe, though, great run for him in 4th. We know RCR is still looking for that event win. It's been consistency that they've been searching. It's usually one has a good night and the other one not so much. So if Sloppy Joe can pull off a great finish, it would be awesome to see his teammate in Xbox do the same as well. But here we ride along with Nick Jobs as well, who's been searching for some success, a rocky start to his season.
Yeah, he certainly has, and we talked to him last week at Bristol too, and he was pretty fired up about getting this team and Hendrick Motorsports Gaming Club also getting their drivers up to speed as well, deep in the points championship standings as of this week. But again, not too much separates everybody. I mean, you're talking maybe 40 points between the top 14 drivers or 14 teams. So it'll be interesting to see, though. A couple good finishes could turn things around, but Hendrick, as well as the 42 of Parker, you see there in 6th with Chip Ganassi Gaming, those guys are definitely need to start getting good results, pretty much here on out.
We take a ride along once again with Slade, who is our in-car for tonight's PlayStation race. I like watching them on the controllers because, you're used to watching a car and seeing a wheel, and a lot of these guys that we talked about, they went from the wheel to the controller because of reaction time, and the handful of times that I've played this, I couldn't get off of pit road without shifting and not being in the correct gear. So interesting to see how they've made that transition and said, hey, I'm going to go with the controller even though it may not be their strength.
Slight movements on the controls for Slade, the young man who's a social media manager for Impact Racing League. So these guys race off the eNASCAR Pro League Tour as well, which is pretty incredible because they have their own leagues and they pretty much race 24/7.
Pit road has been closed, so these drivers will not be able to come down pit road for a handful of laps up until the competition caution. So that'll shake things up, making these drivers, forcing them to stay out on the racetrack. But Fast Fed is in a league of his own. Per usual, he's hanging out there up front, trying to take some dirt with him throughout the rest of the racetrack. And you have to wonder if the dirt here on the eNASCAR Heat Pro League being pushed up on the racetrack like that, if it actually affects the racing surface.
I wonder if it does, because they also are kicking off a lot of dirt, like as you mentioned. Now Fast Fed, who we've just pretty much talked about from the start of this race, leading this thing. Now his home track, believe it or not, is Martinsville. So he's a short track guy, but I'm pretty sure he's going to change his mind if this is going to be his home track, because he is putting on a clinic so far. 14 laps to go here at the Glen.
You saw there just a second ago the Rowdy in that 47 with heavy damage to the nose, riding in the 14th. As Fast Fed starts taking on lap cars, that's got to be a pretty good feeling to be taking on lap cars at a road course. Usually our field gets pretty strung out, but we check out a battle here between Parker and Jobs. Jobs taking over that 5th position from Parker, overshoots the corner just a little bit, allowing Parker to get back up to his bumper, but looks like Jobs carried some speed out there and will put a little bit of distance between him and Parker.
Yeah, nice run to the top 5 there for Jobs as Parker moves back to 6th, and it's pretty impressive to see some of these guys overdriving the car maybe just a little bit to get that extra momentum going into the corner. Let's see how they take the bus stop here. Jobs getting a couple tires up off the ground, but both stay clean. So definitely an interesting perspective to see different racing lines for these drivers and how they attack Watkins Glen, because it is such a difficult racetrack.
Parker was the driver I was thinking of that we talked about that had the girlfriend. And that he was,
And I'm pretty sure at first she didn't like him racing full-time because he didn't give her any attention, but now she's getting involved.
Right now he's been hired by Chip Ganassi, and Chip Ganassi likes winners. So perfect situation for him to smooth things over with the girlfriend as we continue to ride along here with Nick Jobs of Hendrick Motorsports Gaming Club out of New Jersey. Once again, strong running currently for him in 5th. But we're starting to see voltage creep up here in the 7th spot, but you can see him in the mirror of Parker and Jobs, so those 3 running collectively together right now.
Just about a lap away until our competition caution where we will reset the field, but right now Fast Fed just kind of wants this thing to go green the whole way because he is just absolutely rocketing out to a 3.4 second lead. Slade, a guy we have our onboard camera, he's working his way back to 3rd, but 5 seconds behind as we ride on board with Voltage, a young man from New Jersey, a couple New Jerseyans out of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. So pretty neat to see those guys competing at a high level, but right now working their way to the front. But everybody's just trying to catch Fast Fed as we click off the laps here at the Glen.
Voltage, one of those Joe Gibbs gaming drivers. Haven't talked about him a lot this season, but tonight could be that night that he gets some of that, dirt under his feet that he needs to gain that traction and get moving up. But caution is out. That's the competition caution that we have been talking about. This is where decisions are going to be made that could make or break a driver's run tonight.
Slade checking the phone real quick, probably chatting with his buddies saying, yeah, I'm sitting 3rd right now at a competition caution, and I kind of like what I'm doing. So definitely, it's so cool they can just get on their phone casually. Like, you're in the middle of a race, and I'm going to go text my buddies or make sure everybody's doing all right around the league. So definitely cool to see drivers taking a break here under the competition caution, and we'll check in with Zane here following the caution to see if anybody decided to make some moves, especially down pit road, to maybe stretch this thing the rest of the way.
You have to wonder for someone like Kyle Arnold or Rowdy or even JRM Keffer, who's a little bit farther behind right now on the pace, if they risk it, if they only take the 2 tires or none at all. Everyone pitting during that competition caution. Interesting strategies may play out.
So far, though, your top 2 stayed the same. Top 3, actually. Sloppy Joe now to 4th, Job's 5th. So those pretty much were pro quo from the previous green flag run, but now everything's going to start shaking up as Slade moves back to 4th. Parker now from 6th to 5th as we're clean through the first corner. Fast Fed now pacing the field up the hill and towards the bus stop.
Fluffy went to challenge Fast Fed there into the first corner. Had the position there for a minute, but looks like he might have just lost it. Fluffy slipped all the way back to the 10th position. Sloppy Joe now in that 2nd, trying to chase down Fast Fed. Fast Fed had a run there going, but decided that he was going to do some landscaping there for Watkins Glen, but still manages to hold on to the lead.
Through the tunnel turn, Sloppy Joe now creeping ever so close to the lead. Biggest challenge right now for Fast Fed, who's been pretty much untouchable so far in the 32, but the 8 is creeping up as Slade now back to 3rd, so your top 3 now starting to make a charge toward the front as the 32 again continues to pace the field. But I think things are starting to get interesting. Now it's going to be about who can save those tires just a little bit, but also find a way to get around that 32.
Great run here by Sloppy Joe. He's been looking for some of that consistency and strong runs as he challenges Fast Fed for the win. Slade is just pretty much waiting for someone in front of him to mess up. We're not really quite sure if he has. He's been in a consistent 3rd place car so far tonight, but he's about ready to be challenged by Parker. Take a look here at Sloppy Joe. Again, I really like that patriotic scheme he's running Lucas Oil there.
Parker in the 42 in 4th has been a 15-year veteran of sim racing. So we've got experience, we've got rookies, we've got pretty much everything in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, from a guy like Slade, who's 17 years old, to Sloppy Joe here. And definitely interesting to see the different talent levels that these guys have as we look back, riding on board with your leader, looking back to 2nd place, Sloppy Joe.
It may be inch by inch, but Fast Fed is managing to make that gap bigger and bigger by each corner. He had a pretty good gap before that competition caution, and he's looking to do that again as the laps wind down. 7 to go, and so far he's led 16 of these laps, absolutely dominated.
He certainly has 7 laps to go now here at the Glen. Domination for Fast Fed, but don't look now because Sloppy Joe and Slater are probably going to try to team up a little bit and say, we got to make a run at this guy. As those laps continue to wind down. Pennzoil, we talked about Penske being pretty consistent so far in the season, leading the points. He's back in 8th. As Kyle Arnold, who had damage, is in 10th. The Bear, we spoke to him pre-race as well, said he was very confident in his race car, but he sits back in 11th. But right now, your top 5 seem to be running pretty consistent lap times as well. And they're all within about 2 seconds of each other as we now have 6 laps to go.
If you're Fast Fed, you're watching the perfect scenario play out behind you as Slade is making ground on Sloppy Joe. So Sloppy Joe's had to take his attention away from maybe chasing down Fast Fed and holding on to that second position, and that's exactly what he wants to happen so he can focus on his own line and just put some distance between. But once again, checking in there with Slade, our in-car camera, as he looks to chase.
We're going to call it the living room camera.
The living room camera.
The bedroom camera. Well,
let's not call it that.
Call it that, yeah. Stay away from that one.
Oh, Slade there. We got that headlight off, so able to see him good there. But Fast Fed checking out there with 5 to go. But let's check in with Zane, who's got some updates on us on the happenings.
Guys, first off, Chris, it's not a bedroom cam, it's a driver cam.
Yes.
Let's just get that out of the way right now.
Let's throw that one out the window real quick.
I see a man in his living room racing his butt off right now, trying to get a win in 3rd place. And speaking of driving their butt off right now, Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Nation is going off in the Twitch chat right now because they think this boy's got a chance to win. The laps are coming down to the end, to the wire here, and business is about to pick up. Sloppy's been on Fed's bumper, and Fed hasn't had anyone challenge him all race. So this might be the upset in that brand new sponsor of that Lucas Oil Chevrolet.
That's a good point because I think, you know, a lot of guys, maybe we kind of came into the race thinking so-and-so is going to do well, but look at Sloppy and he's consistent as well, and he's constantly been there up in the top 4 for the last part of the race. And then don't look now too as well, Job's in the 25, Hendrick as well, he's working his way up. So, I mean, we've got some guys that not normally are in the front running well and some guys that we thought would run well toward the back.
Again, these road courses, they are just a wild card when it comes to who may come out on top. But Fast Fed, he's an easy pick. You knew he was going to be quick. Sloppy Joe, you guys have mentioned it, strong run so far tonight. But while Sloppy Joe may have a strong run coming right now in the PlayStation, it's all going to come down to what takes place next in the Xbox race, because if his teammate doesn't show up and races hard or finishes well, that could be the do-all, end-all for an event win for that team.
Absolutely. It's a team sport, and it's a team way to win a championship. And right now, Fast Fed is hoping Go Fast will lock up an event win. And he's doing his part right now, leading the event. But right now, Sloppy Joe, though, ever so close to the back bumper of Fast Fed. Your top 2, closest battle on the racetrack as we continue to click the laps down now. 4 laps to go. And it's just going to be interesting to see. He gets close, but it's one thing to catch a guy. It's another thing to pass him.
That seems to be how it always plays out anymore. You can catch him, but it's a heck of a lot harder to pass him. But he looks to the inside here. We'll see if he can hold position or if Fast Fed will not give him the room. But wow, you look at Sloppy Joe there. He holds on to it. We'll run him all the way out over the rumble strips, and Sloppy Joe attains the lead with 3 laps to go at Watkins Glen.
Pass for the lead there late. How about an out-braking maneuver by the aid of Sloppy Joe as Fast Fed falls to second. The dominant man all day long now playing catch-up with 3 laps to go.
Sloppy Joe in a perfect scenario right now, hoping things go green so we don't have to go under caution and let Fast Fed challenge here for it. But Slade hasn't been able to hold on to that second and third position as he tries to chase down Fast Fed for that second, but he's lost a little bit of ground there. Sloppy Joe needs 3 perfect laps right now.
Keyword perfect, because Fast Fed has been on the money all night long. I think maybe locked the tires up just a little bit, lost some of that momentum. Right now he's probably just trying to calm himself down. 3 laps to go is a long way around, as you can see, gathering it right back up to the back bumper of Sloppy Joe.
Fast Fed making up a lot of grounds there. But like you said, he can get to him, but can he pass him? And this is where he got passed last time, as he sticks his nose in there, will shove him all the way out to the edge of the racetrack. Fast Fed regaining the lead with 2 laps to go, but looks like a high-low maneuver there for Sloppy Joe, but he can't quite hold on to it and will slip back to second.
Oh, this is good stuff. If you love road course racing, just back and forth here as the laps wind down. 2 to go, and it's a battle for the lead and for the win here at Watkins Glen as we go to the bus stop. Does Sloppy Joe have anything else for Fast Fed? The two have exchanged the leads now a couple times, and here comes Sloppy Joe on the inside in the tunnel turn.
Slade hanging out there in third, probably waiting for Sloppy Joe and Fast Fed to make a last lap move here. And we saw it at Bristol. It was checkers or wreckers, and I think it could come down to something similar like this. I've worked a handful of road course races, including Canada, and usually coming to the last lap, I think we might see something similar play out.
It's all about that exit speed, and Sloppy Joe gets a huge run off the final corner. The 32 trying to put on a block, but right now Sloppy Joe's got the momentum. He's going to go to the outside. Can he outbrake him? No. The 32 will stick it, but now high on the outside is the 8. Sloppy Joe now tucks back in behind. Boy, I thought he had it there for a second.
And Slade, look at him there, has made up the ground while these two battle it out for that top position. He'll slip back a little ways, but Sloppy Joe is doing everything he can to set up a perfect maneuver right now because it's all coming down to these last few corners.
Final lap to the bus stop we go. What can happen here as the Sloppy Joe machine gets into the dirt? That gives Fast Fed just a little bit of an advantage as they go to the tunnel turn, and it's all going to be set up here in that final set of corners because you've got to get a good run down the straightaway.
Fast Fed has been fast all season. He was fast in the preseason races. He's been fast early on, and he's been looking for this win, and what a way to get it. At a road course, all he needs is a couple more turns here, and he will get the win tonight at Watkins Glen in the PlayStation. Sloppy Joe looking for that last maneuver. Can he hold on to it?
No. Fast Fed gets the victory at Watkins Glen, his second win of the season. So move Fast Fed to your first multi-race winner of the year as he takes home the PS4 race at Watkins Glen. Hannah, I love that last call. You left us hanging there for a little bit. But Fast Fed gets the win. An incredible job as Sloppy Joe, oh so close, comes home second. Slade third. Nick Jobs out of Hendrick Gaming comes home in fourth. And how about Hot Rod? Last week's winner gets a top 5 for Stewart Haas Gaming.
Great night so far for Go Fast Gaming. Fast Fed getting that win. Interesting to see Fluffy, who slipped back there to 6th position after being up front, but obviously lost it there a couple times. Good run also for SHG. Hot Rod coming home in 5th. Another consistent run for the youngster of Slade.
Yeah, Slade, our onboard or living room camera, did a really nice job piloting that 21, but again, we talked about it. It's been all about consistency and hitting your marks at Watkins Glen, and Fast Fed put on a clinic even when getting challenged by Sloppy Joe. Pretty incredible stuff. And again, the first guy to win 2 events here in the first 4 rounds of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. So Fast Fed now cementing himself as one to beat.
Tough night there for the Bear. We talked to him earlier, came home 11th. He called it before the race started. He said, guys, road courses are not really my thing, so I'm pretty much just going to hold on to it and hope we get a good finish there. But congratulations to Go Fast Gaming for tonight's race win in the PlayStation with Fast Fed. So far winning 2 of 4. Awesome. Pretty good percentage there. He's got to be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, not too shabby, Fast Fed. And I know his teammate, Go Fast Matt, now, no pressure, but your teammate just won, and if you're going to get the stage win or the event win, better do a really good job there in the Xbox race. So pretty impressive driving by Fast Fed. Pennzoil, we mentioned with Penske, was dominant, coming home in 8th. And we're getting ready to talk to the young man who won here at Watkins Glen, your first 2-time race winner. It's Fast Fed out of Go Fast Racing. He joins us now after an impressive drive at Watkins Glen. Congratulations, my friend. First of all, were you sweating a little bullets there at the end, exchanging the lead with Sloppy Joe?
That was intense, man. That was some hard racing right there for the win.
What was the key to getting your car set up, especially being able to recatch Sloppy Joe and then hold him off at the end? How were you able to drive there in the last few laps?
I was just being patient and waiting for him to make a mistake. We was driving really hard right there, really deep in the corners, you know, so we was both kind of pushing up the track a little bit and loose, you know, just hard racing for the win.
Now, while it came down to the last couple laps, you were dominating the entire race. Is there going to be a text exchange after this with your teammate, Go Fast Matt? He's rolling off 4th in the Xbox race, but are you guys sharing any secrets?
I'm texting him right now. Right now.
Awesome. Well, congratulations there on the win. Congratulations to Go Fast Gaming as well.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome stuff from our race winner. And, folks, we've got a special guest here with us in the booth, the one and only Chad Knaus, Hendrick Motorsports 24 crew chief. First of all, welcome to the studio. And have you ever seen anything like this before?
What an amazing race. Fast Fed and Sloppy Joe put on a heck of a show right there. I thought that was absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, our guy Nick Jobs couldn't quite get it done tonight. Came up with a solid 4th-place finish, and great for Hendrick Motorsports, and excited to the NESCAR race as well.
Now, we had a lot of these drivers that got to come in during the Charlotte. They got to meet everyone over at Hendrick. How has it been to incorporate gaming like this in a facility like Hendrick Motorsports?
It's fantastic. All the guys in the shop have bought into it, and Zach Brown is actually crew chief for Nick. I don't know how much Zach's actually helping you out too much there, Nick, but we're going to work on it a little bit, try to get you a little bit better car for the next time you come up here racing. So it's been a lot of fun. We've enjoyed the excitement with all the esports stuff that's going on with the NASCAR Heat League, and looking forward to watching it grow. It's been a lot of fun. I've had a great time here this evening, and I can't wait to come back, actually.
Now, I'm not sure of your gaming experience, but are you going to hop behind the wheel and take one of these for a spin?
So, quite honestly, people don't really believe this, but for years, I have gone through and I've played the NASCAR games prior to going to the races just to get identifying with the tracks once again. Some of these racetracks we only go to once a year. Let's say Watkins Glen or Sonoma, maybe Indianapolis. So I've always sat down and played the NASCAR games just to try to get myself acclimated to what's going on, what the situations are like, the surroundings, because believe it or not, that's an easy way to identify with your drivers. So I've been using this tool for a long time.
Now, you got to watch the whole PlayStation race play out.
Yeah.
But we have one more. We've got an Xbox race up next. You got any advice for your driver?
Man, Nick did a really good job. Nick, you need to go ahead and text up Sam and let him know what's going on, because that was pretty exciting. Make sure you guys stay out of the dirt when you're going through the bus stop. I saw that could be problematic right there. And, man, that entry into turn 1, you got to watch your braking right there. Make sure you keep that corner nice and tight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chad, for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your visit here.
Absolutely.
And, some speed secrets definitely give me too, because I'm going to need some when we get on the game. Pretty appreciate it.
Right on.
Awesome, guys. Well, let's check out the Xbox starting lineup as we get ready to go racing with the Xbox drivers here at Watkins Glen.
All right, Xbox, it's SHG, Slick, Casey, the Bolt, Go Fast Matt, the teammate for Fast Fed, so keep an eye on that 32 for Go Fast. Can they pull off the sweep? We'll have to find out. And then Track Bar, he won at Bristol in the 37 for JTG. We'll see if he can come from the 5th starting spot.
Shelby Power with that Penske machine. We've talked about how much speed they've carried all season thus far. Rolling off 10th could be an opportunity for him to get up to the front and get a good finish. But honestly, all eyes, I feel like, are on Go Fast Matt. He's got some pressure to get an event win. But Zane, let's check in with you here for a minute. You know these guys better than we do. You watched them practice. Who are you going to be watching here in the Xbox race?
Chad Knaus. What? He was just here. You guys didn't tell me? I'm in the digital lounge working my butt off, and you're hanging out, rubbing elbows with Chad Knaus?
It's the perks, man. It's the perks.
All right. all forgiven, but
he's fangirling right now.
If we're going to be really serious here, the guy I'm watching out for right now, he's my dark horse of the race, is Casey. Casey is one of the fastest drivers on presets. He's going to be one of the fastest drivers here. He's starting second on the board for Watkins Glen. On top of that, we got to watch out for Slick, not Hot Rod, and then Dohar. Dohar is our fuel mileage man. He knows how to work it on fuel mileage alone. So that's going to be the big question: is he going to pull a Sonoma from the preseasons back at the Glen? We saw in the last race it was a two pit stop race. It could turn out the same.
Yeah, we're taking a look at Dohar right now.
There's Dohar right there.
Yeah, and he's got the headset on. He's good to go. Zane, I will ask you, too, so the strategy that we kind of saw in the PlayStation race, do you think some of these guys are taking notes, or do they already go into this kind of event knowing what they want to do?
I think some of them took notes from that race. There was a little bit of concern about what's going to happen when pit road closed. No one actually tested that theory of closing pit road, getting to that competition yellow, and then driving it out from there. So that's the first time these guys got to experience that in a full race trim experience. So we're going to see that again, I think, here tonight. We'll see probably 2 pit stops. Some guys may try to push it to 3. but it's going to be a good race.
All right, we'll let you go fangirl just a little bit as Chad Knaus
leave me alone.
And while he was fangirling over Chad, I saw in the background there, we've got a lot of awesome guests here with us at Charlotte. Tim Southers.
Yeah.
You can fangirl for me up here. You can tell Tim Southers down there hello. You know, the media journalist side fangirling over here.
Absolutely. Good to see him here. There he is.
There we go.
Yeah, giving us a wave.
Hey, yeah.
They've got the comfy seats there checking out all the action here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And we're getting set to go, Hannah. Boy, I'm excited because to be honest with you, did not expect a 2-lap shootout between two drivers at Watkins Glen, and I'm excited to see what these guys can do.
Exactly. We saw Fast Fed check out there, and I thought we were maybe going to have the drivers really span themselves out. Like you said, I wasn't expecting that much ground to be made by Sloppy Joe. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it play out the same, but you check out there, Casey on the front row there with SHG Slick. SHG looking for another strong run tonight at Watkins Glen as we are getting ready to go green.
Coming off the last corner, who is going to take it home at Watkins Glen? Round number 4 for your Xbox drivers is underway at the Glen. Green flag is out.
Casey will hold the preferred position as they get ready to go into turn 1, that right-hander there, but he slips up and slips back a few positions, handing the lead over to SHG Slick. The Bolt, we talked to him earlier, looking for a strong run there in third, but Casey holds on to it and slips into that second position.
Wow, 2 for 2, clean through the first set of corners as we've got 2 wide back in the back of the field. There's Mordog out of Hendrick Gaming in the 5. You heard Chad talk about maybe get some tips from your teammate, and so far he's holding off strong there, running in the 11th spot. He started at the back. We'll see if he can work his way up as we got 2 cars on their bicycle wheels. They're gone 2-tire in there through the tunnel turn.
You saw Skirt Bush with a really heavy charge into that corner, making up a few positions. The runs in 12th. In 13th, though, wow, that's Garbage. Obviously started at the back. He'll be looking to make his way to the front, but we ride along now with Go Fast Matt, the teammate of Fast Fed, looking to have a good run tonight. Can he do it?
Well, not right now. He's back in 14th position. I think he got a little bit of a penalty here. Yes, we are getting word from race control. Cut the bus stop. And remember, Zane said in our race keys to the race, if you have 4 tires off the racetrack and then get back on, you will be penalized. And that's exactly what happened as we take a look at the replay of what happened as he heads down that straightaway to the bus stop. The 32, maybe carrying a little too much speed. Actually, it looks like 2 tires got caught. Okay, 2 tires got caught in the grass, and he could not brake in time, so he took the little shortcut route, and again, you'll be penalized. So tough break for the team that just won the PlayStation race.
It's still early on in this race, though, as we've only completed 3 laps, so still potential for Go Fast Matt to get back up there. But we've got
we got carnage in the back of the field.
Yeah, we've got some contact going on at the back there. Wow, that's Garbage is involved, as well as looked like maybe JRM Dohar had a hand in that as well.
Oh, and there he is.
Yep, you can see him there, like we said, the in-camera. Definitely some frustration being shown there by the driver for Junior Motorsports. Caution is out for that wreck.
I mean, if you're going to look at a silver lining, the caution did come out. You know, at a road course, if usually 1 or 2 cars are involved, they'll leave it green. So the caution is out. Obvious frustration on the behalf of Dohar. Did not see exactly what happened, but we saw 2 cars get in the outside wall right at the bus stop, right at that fast section of the racetrack as drivers are trying to slip and slide their way in. And we do have a replay as we look behind Shelby. Looks like the 95 maybe it cut the track just a little bit. That bottlenecked everybody, and then Dohar just gets turned from behind in the outside wall. And as you can see, he just absolutely cannot believe the luck he's had right now.
Fortunately for him, only 6 laps into the race so far at Watkins Glen tonight. So far, this race playing out a little bit differently than the PlayStation race we saw earlier. Almost caution-free there. Came down to the last couple great laps. I think we'll see the same thing as we are back green after that caution. SHG Slick jumps out to the lead there. Casey with a strong run as the Bolt slips behind him for the 3rd position, but Jay McAttack, he's on the move.
Yeah, we were 3 wide back there with Shelby, Jacob Kerr, Mordog. Now everybody settles back single file as we go back toward the bus stop, but here comes the Bolt in the 18, taking a peek to the outside of Casey. He'll think better of it and follow right behind that orange number 16 through the bus stop, and look out, Casey gets punted from behind, and the Bolt will take that position for 2nd.
He'll slip back to the 4th position. The Bolt now under siege by J-Mac attack for that second position. This allows SHG Slick to put some distance between him and the 2nd through 5th place cars, but the Bolt got his eyes set on SHG as we ride along here with the Joe Gibbs driver. We talked to him a little bit earlier. He felt good about it, and again, if he wins this race, he gets to celebrate with Kyle Busch.
Yeah, that's not bad with that little, or not little, rather extreme life-size cutout of Kyle Busch. But the 18 is now solidly in 2nd place, 1.6 back of SHG Slick. We heard Jake, the voice of SHG, talk about in that little pre-race special about the speed secrets. He's not giving any, so clearly his drivers found something with Slick now back in front.
Riding along here with J-Mac attack, the Texas driver for RCR. Reeling in the Bolt here. Heavy braking there, using a little bit of the grass. We saw it in the previous race.
Oh, hang on to it. Man, these things are like sprint cars. I mean, they are just up on 2 wheels. I don't know how they're hanging on to those things, but there's a look back on board with Dohar as he tries to rally back. He's currently placed in the 9th position, 7.6 seconds back, so not awful as we still have the competition caution and pit stops to come.
A race like this can cause a lot of frustration with a lot of other drivers when, you know, there's not a lot of space to give, but they'll push the limits here on the road courses like Watkins Glen. We saw some frustration at Bristol. Some of that may be carrying over, but JRM Dohar looking for a good run tonight. Currently 9th, like you said, looking to rally back as we have 9 laps under our belts.
Yeah, side by side, back down the front straightaway into the first corner. Mordog making a move underneath the 1 of Skirt Busch, but they're all the way back in 12th position, so move Mordog to 12th. He was in 11th, so has some work to do now as those drivers continue to battle in the back of the field. But right now we're all up front with the SHG Slick in the 14. Cuts the grass there just a little bit as trying to find every ounce of speed he has in that 14 as we get set to complete lap number 9, and then we're right at that fuel window.
Something interesting about Watkins Glen, it makes it so hard to pass at a racetrack like this, is realistically this track is tailored to more IndyCar style cars, a little bit smaller, so to put 2 stock cars side by side through some of these corners and some of these passing areas is very difficult, so you have to set it up and execute it almost perfectly because realistically there's not enough track space to really get a lot of these cars and these full body stock cars side by side, which makes it very difficult for these drivers, allows patience to wear a little thin, and sets you up for maybe some bump and runs.
Yeah, I'm sure they will use those.
Let's check down with Zane, who's got a couple updates for us on what's going on.
Guys, so I'm hanging out here in the digital lounge. I get the radio up and listening to the chat. Right now, you got Slade and FedEx cheering on their teammates, Casey and Go Fast Matt. And it's literally, hey, Matt, don't let that 16 car beat you. And then you have Slade going, hey, Casey, don't let that 32 car beat you. So they're kind of rivaling, building each other up to keep moving. On top of that, we heard a little bit ago that the 22 and the 43 hooked bumpers. And that's what's causing the 22 of Shelby Power to be in the back and then the 43 of Diego. They got into an incident. They hopefully clean it up, and we'll see them after that competition yellow.
Awesome to see that teamwork and hear that teamwork from these guys' teammates. Pretty incredible stuff as they're cheering on their drivers with 16 laps to go. We are completing lap number 10. Currently, Slick hasn't dove onto pit road yet. We're approaching that competition caution on lap 15, so 5 more laps, but that pit road will close on lap 12 as a couple drivers at the back are pitting off. Excuse me, Go Fast Matt from 4th place is pitting, as well as Casey, who was in the top 5.
We saw drivers in the PlayStation game pit between that lap 7 and 8 window there. This coming a little bit later as these drivers are taking advantage of pitting. Like you said, right before pit road will close at lap 12, will not reopen until the competition caution at lap 15. So Go Fast Matt and Casey, your 2 that have pitted. As soon as some of these drivers come back around and cross the line there, that will close pit road once again. So SHG Slick still with the lead. The Bolt in second as we ride along here with, well, we were riding with J-Mac, but now we're looking back at HD Motorsports, who has climbed his way up to 4th place.
Yeah, not a bad run. Took advantage of a couple drivers ducking onto pit road, but those drivers, Casey and Go Fast Matt, keep those names in mind because those are 2 guys that are definitely on a different strategy than the rest of the field as we ride on board with the 37 of Track Bar last week, or 2 weeks ago, winner at Bristol Motor Speedway. And there's your leader coming to pit road right before the pits close here on lap 11.
taking advantage of that, which may set a couple of these other cars up to not be able to pit if that window does close. HD Motorsports has now acquired the lead with the pitting of a handful of cars. JRM Dohar, we saw the frustration a little bit earlier with him as he was involved in an early race incident, has climbed up to second position. Will not be able to pit as lap 12 comes out. Pits have closed, leaving HD Motorsports with the lead, and he's got a handful of laps until that competition comes up. And Zane called it. This is going to be an interesting strategy. We saw people pit with only 3 or 4 laps till the competition.
Oh.
2 wheels there for HD Motorsports, but he holds on to it with little to no ground lost.
I would have spun out, I'm just saying. But no, to your point too as well, those drivers that pitted about 2 laps ago versus the ones that pitted 1 lap ago, could that be the difference coming down the stretch? It'll be interesting because we had a handful of drivers, J-Mac as well as Mordog. Yeah, this is the 2-wheel trip around the bus stop.
I feel like we need to put this right here, this perfect scenario should be in the promo for all of the races moving forward. No lack of action, especially at Watkins Glen, but hats off to HD Motorsports there for holding on to that. That makes me question if he has a wheel or if he has a controller.
Be interesting, and definitely don't ask the Cup drivers on the NASCAR schedule to do 2 wheels through the bus stop. They'll shake their heads and call you crazy because that was nuts. As we go back inside the living room of Dohar in the 88 for JR Motorsports, and how about this? HD now his lead shrinking with Dohar, now half a second back, and he's trying to gain just a little bit more with 2 laps to go until the competition caution. But again, both these drivers will have to pit.
HD Motorsports on 2 wheels once again in front of JRM Dohar there. But wow, that's garbage to no surprise in the top 5. Started in 14th and has cracked the top 3. Seems to always find his way from the back to the front after some unfortunate qualifying situation there, technical difficulties that did not allow him to qualify, so forfeited that starting position, started at the back, but already up to 3rd position. Looks like HD Motorsports has got himself a sporty car underneath him as JRM Dohar tries to reel him in, but we have to think about the guys like Go Fast Matt, like Casey, J Mac Attack, and SHG that pitted, and we're getting ready for the competition caution in just under a lap.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of fuel they have, what kind of tires they have, because again, if you're just kind of joining us and are new to the eNASCAR Heat Pro League and the way these races are set up, 4 times wear on these cars, so those tires, they get worn really quick, so it's going to be hard to finish the race. So on lap 11, Slick was the first of the guys to pit. So he's currently 9th, and he was a part of that train that came down right before the pits closed as we about to get set to hit 1 more lap with the competition caution. So that's one strategy. Then you had Go Fast Matt and Casey that I believe pitted on lap 10 or 9, so about 1 or 2 laps before. So about 3 different strategies. And the rest of the field, they'll hit pit road definitely here on the caution.
Go Fast Matt currently in 11th. The other half of that Go Fast Gaming team, obviously, his teammate Fast Fed collected the win in the PlayStation race, so he's looking to rally and get a good finish for that team, hopefully collect the first event win for Go Fast Gaming leaving Watkins Glen. But SHG Slick also with a strong run, leading the efforts in those cars that pitted first. As the competition caution comes out, this will be the opportunity for your leaders who did not pit earlier in the race to come down pit road, but things could really shake up here, and we'll have to get some insight from Zane here in a little bit on what the talk is going on with these drivers, who came down, who's taking what, because this is a pit strategy that we have yet to see in any of the races.
I just love looking at, there you go, take a drink, relax, Dohar, you're all right, you're hanging in there. You kind of saw the look on his face, like I don't think he could believe he got back up there to second, but the young man out of Vermillion, Ohio, for Junior Motorsports, and he's got a fast car. And I think if I remember correctly, in the exhibition series, we had about 10 races. We did race Sonoma, so we raced 1 road course, and he was a class of the field. So he definitely knows how to run road courses, so keep an eye on that 88 as we get set to go green.
Everyone is lined back up after the caution. Everyone pitting, handing the lead over to what looks like Mordog, I believe, at the front there.
HD just took the lead.
Yep, HD gets out in front of him there, but Mordog, everyone seems to get a little squirrely in turn 1, and we were 3 and 4 wide there for a second.
Yeah, we're beating banging. We were Yeah, and if you remember what Zane and we were talking about pre-race, Moordog had a little bit different of a strategy. That strategy paid off. He's fallen back to second there as we've got 1 car in the wall, 2, 3, 4 cars, and yeah, I don't know either, Dohar. What's going on, buddy? We got a caution now because we just had absolute melee with contact everywhere going up the hill. Damage, heavy damage on what was your leader with most laps led. That's Slick. Holy cow. He led 10 laps tonight, and now he's got a nice view of that front hood.
Heavy damage for a lot of those drivers. Looks like JRM Dohar may have got the least of it there, as we can't quite see any damage on that Junior Motorsports machine here. We're going to take a look at this race car. You see it there, that Junior Motorsports entry filter time. But we're going to take a look at the replay here of what happened. Everyone a little squirrely there. Looks like we may have that Go Fast Gaming entry back there. Oh, it was a chain reaction. Everyone checked up and an accordion took place. Just melee there as the 16 of Casey happens to get through. I feel like that's the perfect expression there of JRM Dohar. I don't know.
Boy, he's been in a lot of scenarios tonight, but boy, he's keeping that 88 relatively clean. But boy, we're back to green. This just changed everything because another caution now, and we've got HD Motorsports and Moordog. But back here in the field, how about Casey? 3 wide with the 3 of J-Mac attack, and they're still 3 wide, now 2 wide, going up the hill here with Garbage back to second. He comes from the back a second time as we've got another wreck. This time looks like, who was that, Bolt? Bolt in the 18 got into somebody. My goodness.
And if you know there on that last caution, everyone from 6th on back pitted, which allowed a little bit of shakeup here in the lineup. But Moordog, take a look at him there in the 4th position. HD Motorsports continues to lead as they're side by side behind him with That's Garbage and Track Bar, challenging Track Bar for that 2nd position. Again, HD Motorsports feeling pretty good about the fact that he's got 2nd and 3rd battling for position behind him, so he can just focus ahead. But Moordog slipped back to 6th. He said he had an interesting strategy in the pre-race. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out with a handful of laps to go. 5 to go here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, the top 3 there kind of look like deja vu from the PlayStation race. Kind of began to check out just a little bit. Jacob Kerr, a nice run up in the number 13 to 4th, and Garbage, as we mentioned in the pre-race, started last with technical difficulties all the way back up to 2nd on a little bit different strategy as well, on the same strategy I believe as HD Motorsports, so those two definitely capitalizing as well.
Let's go to Zane for more on the top 2. Wow, That's Garbage and HD Motorsports. I mean, this is starting to be a thing that Wow, That's Garbage is coining, starting at the very back, and here he is running in 2nd. And
it's not a choice that Garbage starts in back. He just has issues during qualify where he starts 14th. But this is almost the 2nd week in a row. If he can get around HD, he's going to come from 14th to 1st in a race and win it. We may see 2 winners in 1 weekend on FedEx and then Garbage. HD, on the other hand, I'm rooting for this guy, man. He was one of my picks to win the race. And the thing is he blew up his wheel, more like it caught on fire at Bristol. So he's on brand new equipment, and this is the 2nd week using it. This man needs a win. Levine Family Gaming needs to lock themselves in the points I talked about in pre-race, or they may be sitting outside the playoffs. So this could be their shot if Garbage doesn't get to him.
Now you talk about HD Motorsports there, Zane. He got a new wheel after his previous one had caught in fire, but do we know, is HD Motorsports using that new wheel, or is he one of the drivers that made the transition to a controller for a road course? We'll check back in with Zane on that here in a minute.
Like being serious, it actually did catch fire. We're not talking about he caught fire because he was really good. It actually caught fire, flames.
So we're glad that he's able to race with a wheel that's not going to be on fire tonight. But wow, That's Garbage. Jane just said it, from 14th to 1st. There is a new leader as Wow, That's Garbage gets past HD Motorsports and will lead a lap.
Who wants a hot dog? I'm saying it again because the Oscar Mayer Wiener machine is on a roll from 14th to 1st, and he is absolutely getting it here. 3 laps to go, and we're shaking up to have another close finish right here at the Glen, as side by side now with JRM, as well as I believe that was Jacob Kerr in the 13. But right now, all your leader, Garbage, certainly not a garbage drive by any means, because he went, I mean, he kind of did it again, really, back to the front. I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
And Track Bar there looking to challenge him for the lead, but don't look now. Look who's in 3rd place, JRM Dohar. We've seen the frustration. We've seen everything that he's been involved with. He's got a little bit of distance between him and Track Bar in that 2nd position, and maybe some frustration that fogged up the camera there as we look at his in-car camera, but he's got a shot at this. We watched the same scenario play out as there's 2 laps to go and Track Bar putting the pressure on Garbage.
Oh, both cleanly, beautifully through the bus stop down to the tunnel turn here. A little bump, a little shove to Garbage, just Track Bar saying, I'm here, buddy, don't make a mistake. And Garbage goes just a little bit too wide off the corner, but still maintains the lead. Dohar has an ability to catch up here to this front 2 if they start tangling with each other, but right now we're coming to the white flag.
Dohar making some ground there on the battle for the lead. These 2 all over the back bumpers of each other, but JRM Dohar may have something in his back pocket. He's got 3-lap fresher tires, but he seems to have a little bit of a challenge from HD Motorsports, but man, what a move by Track Bar there.
Oh, battle for the lead, and Track Bar just muscled his way past Garbage for the lead on the final lap of the race. As we've got a car in the back there, it looks like the 95 of HD, who was running in the top 3, hit the wall going up the turn, going up the hill there, but right now it's all Track Bar. Half a lap to go here at Watkins Glen, and he's got Garbage right behind him. Can he make him move?
Going to come down to a handful of corners. He has to execute these perfectly, keep those tires out of the grass, do everything he can. I mean, you're going to see some blocking maneuvers here as we come down to the last couple turns, because while that's Garbage is doing everything in his power to get up to the back bumper of Track Bar and make that move.
Track Bar won last week at Bristol, trying to become the first back-to-back winner here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League for Xbox. Side by side, off the final corner, it's Garbage. Muscles his way, they hit the wall, but it's going to be Garbage at the line. Oh my goodness gracious. Garbage comes back on the final corner and absolutely moves his way into the lead over Track Bar, and there's Dohar coming home. I think he's saying a couple thank yous to the man upstairs for a top 3 finish, but holy cow, Hannah, that was incredible. Garbage now is a repeat winner, taking a possible back-to-back win away from Track Bar. Holy cow.
What a race we just saw there. Track Bar had everything going for him, but Garbage just pulled the perfect move there, bump and run, gets underneath him and holds onto it on that last corner there. I mean, 2 phenomenal races tonight on the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, getting winners like Go Fast Matt, as well as that's Garbage. Let's take a look at the pass for the lead. Sends it. Hey, Zane, you got to go back to the just send it. We called it earlier, and that's exactly what Garbage did, and that is what secured him the win. Take a look at Dohar. Satisfied there with that 3rd place finish. Good solid run for the 88 tonight.
Holy cow. I mean, from worst to first, not once but twice. You need a Garbage, I know he's going to be watching this later, he needs to buy a lottery ticket, because that's incredible. As there's your rundown for tonight's eNASCAR Heat Pro League race from Watkins Glen. Garbage, a 2-time winner now in the regular season. Track Bar spoiled on the final corner.
JRM Dohar coming home in that 3rd. We watched him on his in-car cam all evening. The Bolt in 4th, and HT Motorsports coming home 5th. But we have to take a look here at Go Fast Matt. Came home in 11th. The pressure was on him as his teammate got the win in the PlayStation. But Garbage, a phenomenal race for him, and congratulations to him.
So we're going to talk to the driver at a Roush Fenway Gaming, and boy, oh boy, he somehow puts on another show from 14th to 1st. It's Garbage, and he joins us now on the phone. Garbage, my friend, we talked at Auto Club Speedway about your win, but doing it from the back, how much sweeter is this victory?
Oh, this is awesome. I can't believe it.
It all came down to that last corner there. It was almost a bump and run, but we talked to Zane in the pre-race, and he said that the mode was going to be just send it for a win. What was going through your mind those last laps or 2 coming to the checkered flag?
Well, I didn't want to get it into any trouble, but with the way they just sent it into us going there, 2 laps to go, we figured, oh, what the heck. So we sent it. Good call, Zane. You're the man.
You sound pretty calm for a guy that just did the unthinkable. I mean, how are you able to be so calm, cool, and collected when you go through an incredible race like that?
We do this week in, week out, day in, day out, hour for hour. So
Perfect. Well, congratulations on that win. And actually, your win has secured the event win for Roush Fenway Gaming. So you guys now have 2 event wins. What confidence is that for you guys as a team?
Oh, that's awesome. I definitely can't believe that.
Awesome. Thanks,
Feels
Garbage.
good.
We appreciate
Feels
it,
good.
my friend. And, yeah, go buy yourself a lottery ticket because you're lucky, my friend. All right, so there's a look at Roush Fenway Gaming, your event winners here at Watkins Glen. They tamed the road course by putting on an incredible show by that guy Garbage, and Fluffy, not bad of a run for himself as they take home round number 4. And an updated look at your official standings. Again, Penske, somehow they still maintain the lead, but it has shrunken. Look at that, 291 to 287 with Roush Fenway right on their heels.
Race by race, Roush Fenway Gaming picking away at that top spot. JTG in the 3rd. Levine Family Gaming drops back to the 4th, still lacking that event win, but still a consistent night for them as they sit in the top 4.
Good run for Dohar today. Moves JR Motorsports back up to the 6th position with 271 points. And, you know, we mentioned teams like Gibbs as well as Hendrick Go Fast. They had potentials for strong runs and just late in the going couldn't figure it out to get the points. So it'll be definitely interesting to see where they go from here.
And we've got a week off next week, but join us once again. Our next race in 2 weeks at Chicagoland Speedway, Wednesday, July 10th. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. You can tune us live on NASCAR, 704 Heat, Twitch, Facebook. It has been fun tonight. 2 back-to-back races of pure excitement. We saw it at Bristol with the short track. We saw it tonight at Watkins Glen. This has got to get you excited in Chicago.
Well, you know, yes, definitely. That's going to be one of those things where I think we're always going to remember from Watkins Glen. It's #SendIt, and that's going to be the key of the theme here going into Chicagoland Speedway. But boy, for Hannah Newhouse, I'm Chris Wilner. We so look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks at Chicagoland Speedway. It's going to be an excellent time here. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast. From all of us here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, we wish you a good night, and we will see you July 10th from Chicagoland Speedway. I was like, oh my god. Well, that was pretty cool. Little surprise visit.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I know. I felt them tap on my shoulder.
She said it, and like I heard Kara